What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing the price of Bitcoin. Recently, well, just about nothing has happened, which is why you haven't gotten an update from me recently. It's kind of, I don't want to be going on YouTube to babble on about nothing, right? Though right now, it seems like enough time has passed for me to do an update, even though nothing's really happened. And it seems like Bitcoin is probably getting to a point where we're going to see, or at least I think the market is likely going to start making some kind of move in the not so distant future. That's just more of a hunch. Take it with a grain of salt. So recently the stock market has been in a correction mode. We're looking at the S&P right now, and I do find this to be an important thing to discuss because it does affect Bitcoin heavily. For example, this was the 2017 top, this was the 2018 bottom, this was the COVID low, right, for both Bitcoin and the S&P, all at the exact same moments. And then also Bitcoin broke its all-time high right here when the S&P began breaking its all-time high. Bitcoin topped out with the S&P just around that range. So, it's relevant. It is absolutely relevant, and it's absolutely correlated. We talked about this recently, but I think it's important to remember that Bitcoin generally does not do well when the S&P is in a volatile environment, right? Just about every time the S&P sees like higher highs, lower lows, or really just lower lows, Bitcoin enters a downtrend. They usually uptrend together. Then the S&P sees this volatility. Bitcoin goes into a downtrend. They both uptrend together. S&P sees a bunch of volatility. Bitcoin goes into a downtrend. Then we had COVID, a bit of a fluke event, and now we're starting to see, volatile market once again over here for the S&P. So my point is that this does increase the likelihood of downside, of less confidence, right? When the S&P is volatile, seeing lower lows, Bitcoin speculators don't have the confidence to speculate. And that's what causes the correlation. And this is why recently I've taken a more neutral stance on Bitcoin and why I'm playing defense. There's a lot of uncertainties right now. I have to say, I'm definitely on a defensive mode, considering all possibilities, as you always should. Today on Twitter, I posted this metric talking about the 1,000 to 10,000 BTC addresses sitting in a neutral position right now. Slight uptick recently, generally sideways, looking at the addresses of 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin in them. We see a pretty nice consolidation overall with a slight uptick out of this range. And then currently, kind of just sitting right at that previous resistance line of this consolidation. And now it's generally sideways for this metric, which means the whales holding 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin are also kind of in a more, indecisive mode, a little bit of indecision and or consolidation, or I guess they're just, waiting to see more signals, more development from the market before making any bigger decisions. And today on Twitter, I was discussing one of the more concerning metrics right now is the MVRV score. And the MVRV score generally hits this bottom band at the end of a consolidation. Whenever we see a major market low take place, the MVRV score is sitting at that low bottom band. And currently we are not there yet. We're actually above that zone. We haven't reached it just yet. And usually when the MVRV score is headed to the bottom band, you see an uptrend with a bounce and then rejection, and then it goes down. 2017, 18 goes up, breaks down, bounces back up, and then rejects down. Currently, Bitcoin, seeing this higher low, bouncing back up. Is it rejecting down now? It seems like a possibility, and it shouldn't be ignored. And now the next segment, I want to discuss the Wall Street cheat sheet psychology of a market cycle. And I want to know your guys' opinion. I want you guys to comment below where you think we are in this current cycle. What do you see right now, right? Because we're in a very neutral spot, a very uncertain spot where, everyone's just got a different opinion. Sentiment is split straight down the middle right now. And in my opinion, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing is people are saying my investments are great and they will come back. We're good. We're going to bounce back. Right? That is what I'm seeing right now across social media. If I'm being truthful about my sentiment analysis, people are saying it'll come back. And that is generally lined up with what is known as denial. My investments are with the great companies and they will come back. So a lot of people are saying that. And then the people that disagree with this idea, they usually say, no, we're in disbelief, right? So in the denial phase, and disbelief phase are very similar in a way emotionally. Denial of a downtrend and then denial of an uptrend, essentially, is they're like one and the same kind of, opposites, basically. And I was having a discussion with people on Twitter about this. And, there was a lot of comments on this, which I thought was cool. A lot of you guys chimed in. And a lot of people just commented, no, this is disbelief. And my response to that was, if there is no bounce, then how can it be a disbelief, right? So, again, guys, comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you think we are in this cycle. My argument against the disbelief idea is that, Bitcoin isn't rallying, right? If we had Bitcoin, like this was a possible disbelief zone that failed. If Bitcoin comes back up and we break 46, that is when we would say disbelief. That would be true disbelief. Right now, I see Bitcoin more so in a denial spot, to be quite honest, where we're coming back to the original breakout zone. We're back to that exact same spot where we were, right? We went up, down. Now we're back to below this big pump zone. If you're looking at the chart, that is exactly where we are. We came up, and now we're back. This little pump, right? I mean, we're kind of like right back to where we started, which puts us perfectly in the denial spot, potentially. Then could lead to a break below the 30K zone, enter panic, capitulation, and then sideways, and then up again. So if we're I was doing an analysis on this, just trying to understand the psychology where we are, not only just from an emotional perspective, sentiment perspective, but also from the price perspective of the market psychology chart, puts us, in my opinion, right here before an actual breakdown occurs. Because right now, what I see is people are holding on. They're basically still optimistic, saying, it'll come back, it'll bounce back. So that is my analysis, guys. I do think that we are possibly in a denial stage, possibly, right? We'll see. Everything changes if Bitcoin pumps up and breaks 46. Then that idea that I just had about being denial, that'll be wrong, and it will actually end up being more so disbelief. But again, you can't be in disbelief without something to disbelieve in. We have to have an actual move up to be in a disbelief. And we don't have anything to be in disbelief of. So I say we're right here. Right here, guys. So, that also means, of course, that kind of leans a lot more bearish, right? It does. But, some of these metrics are telling me that we are not necessarily at a low point, that we do still have some room to move down. There's some of these on-chain metrics are not bottomed out. And one thing I'm going to be watching closely is the whale wallets. If these whale wallets start to capitulate and we're breaking 30 and we're seeing the humpback whales, 10,000 Bitcoin wallets start dumping and they start losing this ground while price is going down below the lows, well, then at that point, we would be able to essentially confirm that we are sitting here, denial, where we would be, back to the beginning of the pump cycle, right? The top zone where you come up and you retrace back to the low, right? Come up, retrace back to the low, and then enter lower low capitulation, right? Lower low capitulation. Now, I don't think this bear market would be anywhere near as bad as previous ones, but it's just a possibility, and it's definitely good to play defense, in my opinion. And what does playing defense means? It means you're actually thinking about these types of possibilities. You're actually considering their likelihood and their potential. If Bitcoin just bounces back, that's great. If Bitcoin just comes up and breaks 46, okay, well then there you go. We'll probably be back into a rally. We'll probably be back to testing into the 50K range if we get above 46. But right now, we're just, 10-15% away from these lows, from entering a capitulation zone. And again, I'm going to watch the whale wallets to tell me if they're capitulating or not. But really, guys, that's it. That's all I wanted to discuss today. A couple key things, a couple key ideas where we could be in this market cycle, why it's good to be playing defense right now. Definitely smash the like button if you enjoyed the information, and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next video.